Hello my dear fashion enthusiasts. I'm delighted to welcome you back to Brandibay Fashion. Today I invite you to discover the Max Mara Fall-Winter 2026 fashion show, presented during Milan Fashion Week. This collection, imagined by Ian Griffiths, explores a fascinating idea, illuminating, and even shedding light on, what we often call the Dark Ages. Behind the image of quiet luxury usually associated with the Italian house, we discover a much deeper reflection on durability, resilience, and a form of carefully controlled Gothic romanticism. The inspiration draws from a reinterpretation of the Middle Ages. But contrary to common clichés, Griffiths does not focus on a primitive or obscure era. Instead, he chooses to reveal its sophistication. The figure of Matilda of Canossa, an influential Italian ruler of the 11th century, serves as a central reference for this reflection. What I find particularly interesting is that this historical inspiration is not merely theoretical. It is clearly felt in the structure of the silhouettes and in the almost solemn atmosphere of the collection. The coats and tunics immediately set the tone. The volumes are generous and enveloping, with a rigor that almost recalls monastic garments. Yet the overall effect remains elegant and distinctly contemporary. Personally, I really appreciate the way Max Mara suggests strength without ever resorting to excessive dramatization. The tall suede boots, fitted like socks and punctuated with rows of metal studs, evoke a modern interpretation of armor. On several wool coats, nubuck panels appear at the shoulders or along the collarbone. The detail is subtle, yet it discreetly suggests a form of symbolic protection. Texture becomes a true language here. Shearling, dense wool, brushed suede, each material contributes to a powerful visual depth. The tawny and earthy tones reinforce the idea of garments designed to endure over time. I find this to be one of the most convincing aspects of the collection. Max Mara reminds us that the beauty of a garment does not lie only in novelty, but also in its ability to accompany the passage of time. The silhouettes remain protective and comfortable. The gently rounded shoulders of certain shearling boleros, knit dresses, and hooded sweaters subtly recall the power dressing aesthetic of the 1980s, a reference that appears in several Milan collections this season. This dialogue between different periods becomes even more intriguing when considering two symbolic dates: 1081, associated with Matilda of Canossa, and 1981, the year the iconic Max Mara 101801 coat was created by Anne-Marie Beretta. This double-breasted coat with kimono sleeves remains, even today, a benchmark of functional elegance. Although the collection does not deliver an explicit political message, a subtle subtext emerges. Rehabilitating a period often labeled as dark may also be interpreted as a reflection on our own era. I appreciate this nuanced approach. Griffiths opens the door to reflection without imposing a single interpretation. Before letting you fully enjoy the rest of the show, let's take a brief critical look. One of the greatest strengths of this collection lies in its remarkable coherence. Materials, volumes, and historical references interact with precision, creating an elegance that feels calm and assured. On the other hand, some might feel that this loyalty to Max Mara's DNA slightly limits the element of surprise. I now wish you a wonderful viewing experience for the rest of the show. Thank you very much for sharing this moment with me. Feel free to let me know in the comments what you think about this Max Mara collection. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you very soon for another runway show on Brandibay Fashion. And until then, keep exploring fashion with curiosity. Goodbye.